If you were on Jeopardy and you won $13 million, sounds like a crazy question, but if you won Jeopardy and you won over $13 million, what would you do with it? Would you buy a house? Would you buy a boat? A car? Your child's college education? Or would you build a bridge that would connect Flower Bluff to the wetlands? The city council has voted for the city council has just granted TxDOT to fund a pedestrian bridge that connects Flower Bluff to the wetlands. Sounds like a great idea. But the question is, how long will the project be underway? And is there safety involved? Here's Madeline Salinas.
Christi's Trestle Trail the tourism truck been waiting for to get the ball rolling. Corpus Christi's Trestle Trail the tourism trail project is a go after the city was awarded $13 million from the Texas Department of Transportation. That money will fund a pedestrian bridge that will connect Flower Bluff to Oso Bay Wetlands Preserve. City Council member at large Jim Klein says the bridge will do great things for the city.
We think it's going to be a great idea to help connect Flower Bluff to the rest of Corpus Christi. It helps kind of reinforce the idea of kind of multiple modes of transportation as well.
Klein is also the president of the environmental organization, the Coastal Bend Sierra Club. He says this pedestrian bridge won't only diversify the types of travel in the city, but also positively affect the environment.
Once completed now, people are going to be able to use it and be able to travel from point A to point B in Corpus Christi. It's going to help to reduce congestion on the streets and roads. It'll help to reduce air emissions from automobiles then as well.
Council member for District 4 Dan Suckley says this bridge will just be one more opportunity to draw tourists and to experience the city's natural resources.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity to expand on our already growing tourist industry. Coming across Flower Bluff, I mean, there's certainly birding opportunities, and then also coming across the body of water. There's some good fishing in that also at certain times of the year as well.
Suckley says getting $13 million from the state is huge for the city. He says if they would have received less, there would have most likely been a need for the city to come up with a significant amount of matching funds.
So since we were so fortunate to get the full 13, there is no identified need for the city to provide any additional funding. It looks like it will be 100% funded by this state grant.
Now, Corpus Christi isn't the only city in the area that received funding from that grant program. Jim Wills County, the city of Kingsville, and Three Rivers received a combined over $4 million for projects in their area. That includes adding sidewalks, signage, safety lighting, and ADA ramps. Mike?
All right, thank you for that, Madeline.
So is it going to be safe? It probably will be. Because if you live in Flower Bluff, and you went to Oso Bay, it's a great place to fish. Once that bridge is made, I don't know, in somewhat years, I'll be the first person to cross that bridge. Maybe, maybe not. Depending on one of the two, but there ain't no common sense be filled out here. I'm glad that the state is doing whatever it can. Do whatever it can. All right. Now something you may not see. This motorcyclist survives this was a hard-stopping video of Catch My Motorcycle zooming between cars at 140 miles per hour. Can we stop with all the speeding? Take a look at this.
It's pulse pounding. A motorcyclist zooms between cars at a mind-boggling 140 miles an hour. All at once, a heart-stopping collision. He's down for the count, but his bike keeps going until a truck clips him from behind, sending him somersaulting across the highway in Florida. Miraculously, the cyclist survived, but broke 20 bones. The daredevil maneuver is called lane splitting. They're incredibly dangerous stunts, popular online. This dude was trying to cut through traffic on a California highway when this happened. He's sent sprawling, his helmet GoPro still recording as Good Samaritans come to check on his condition.
Please don't call my parents because they'll kill me.
Now it's happened to this guy in Florida.
What's this one again? Okay. Leave.
The daredevil maneuver is called
Lane splitting? Oh, these lane splitters are gonna get a big fat common sense of yours truly. Slow down there, Joe. This is not the Fast and the Furious Motorcycle Edition. Vroom, 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 vroom. This is not the Fast and the Furious. You're crying out loud. It's a busy intersection. I don't care if I'm famous on YouTube, but it doesn't matter. You could be hurt, seriously injured, your parents may kill you, and you're left with the bill. When we come back, more of these lane splitters are caught on camera that you may not want to see. And then later, theft and stealing. You could go to jail. You can go to jail for all those. But when stealing, basically the show's all about, it's about another thing. Not taking accountability for your actions and learning from your mistakes. Stay with us. Lane splitting. Before the break, we looked at a very serious video about a motorcyclist lane splitting all the cars, and he got hit. Most people survive, but most have died. Let's take a look at the top 5 fast fails. These lane splitters. This was from Power Nation. Take a look.
Alright, it's that time for top 5 fast fails, and this week's edition is lane splitting on a motorcycle. We talked about lane splitting last week and how I say it's actually the better way to go, and I still stand by that. However, it is dangerous, and here's why. Number 5 for top 5 fast fails is a guy on a motorcycle that decides to try to squeeze a gap that's totally not smart, especially being that the truck is a truck. Watch this. Number 4 is that situation that people always talk about. What if somebody opened a door? This is what happens.
Boom!
Number 3 for top 5 fast fails is a guy cruising, and this one is painful. It involves a door also. It's just a little bit harder of a hit. Ready? Number 2 for top 5 fast fails are 2 guys cutting through traffic, and this is exactly how you should not split lanes. These guys are just asking for it. Now the guy in the lead, well, he gets it. All of it. Check this out.
Maybe lane splitting, but they're about to have a lane splitting fall.
And number 1 for top 5 fast fails is a motorcycle rider in Russia that has lost his mind. This guy's nuts. This is exactly how you should not split lanes. Check it out.
Now here's a kid who splits lanes and actually pays attention. Oh, shit. God. Oh, God. Can you just imagine that? You're driving, all of a sudden, you see some cars, you see some motorcycles merging, boom, boom, boom. And then you try to, and then you're like a road rage going, hey, stay in your lane. And then all of a sudden, you're the drunk driving the car, then the motorcycle hits the car, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And then all of a sudden, the windshield go, oh. I pull onto the cycle. I go, stop. Get out of the car. There's a person injured. Sir, are you okay? Call 911, get him to the hospital. The busy intersection. The police come. And it's like, what's going on? And you're saying, well, we're doing lane splitting. It's dangerous. Do we not understand the common sense about lane splitting? It's dangerous. You can get hurt out there, especially for all these motorcycle accidents. Take a look at one from 2 years ago.
Something most drivers have experienced, that sudden fright when a motorcyclist speeds right by you in between the lanes on the freeway. It's called lane splitting, and while it's incredibly dangerous, surprisingly, it is not illegal everywhere. Amber Cagliano has more.
It cruised down the interstate, zipping dangerously close between cars. It's called lane splitting. Bikers burning rubber to cut through congested traffic. How dangerous is it? Look at this. We found videos posted all over the web showing crash after crash after crash.
And it's traffic, which makes me nervous.
Trevor Machin was flying down this California freeway when this happened. A driver collided with his bike, sending him sprawling.
Oh my God!
The dramatic accident was all caught on his helmet GoPro. These good Samaritans came to his aid while he lay there stunned. Just stay as still as possible, okay?
Please don't call my parents because they'll kill me.
Then EMS arrives.
We split lane? I was lane splitting.
Arlisa Guerrero spoke with him.
Holy moly, you are lucky to be alive,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Lane splitting is legal in California. He says it's a safer way for motorcyclists to travel in heavy traffic.
Okay, I'm gonna call you out on this a little bit. Isn't the real reason that you lane split, isn't it to go faster, so you could pass the cars?
Yeah, you can get by quicker.
And despite his brush with death, he says he's not stopping anytime soon.
It's so dangerous, dude. It's so dangerous. I mean, you've been in a major accident because of this. Would you still lane split?
Absolutely. It's hard for people that don't actually ride, they don't understand.
Not only is it dangerous, but because of their speed and maneuverability, it's difficult to pull them over.
It's very hard for us to catch them. Number one, they're very fast.
While we were interviewing him, this happened.
There goes one right there.
There you go.
Some people are gonna say you're crazy.
Of course. My mom, one of them.
Only in California is lane splitting explicitly legal. In most states, it is against the law, though some do allow lane splitting in certain specific traffic conditions.
Only one state is legal? Only one state? You need to stop what you're doing, pick up the damn phone, call your fucking congressman, and fucking say, hey, make lane splitting illegal. All 50 states. 5 and 0. Nothing going through, none. There ain't no loopholes in all this. 50 states need to make it illegal to lane split. When we come back, the laws in every state that have lane splitting, and then later theft, / take responsibility for your actions. Stay with us. If there's motorcyclists out there that are in California that are watching this episode and they want to pick a fight with me about lane splitting, Go right ahead. I'll pick a fight. Thank God I don't drive a motorcycle. I see motorcycles everywhere. I have not seen people lane split in the state of Texas. But most states, especially here in Texas, lane splitting is banned in Texas, and all drivers must only change lanes when it's safe to do so. A motorist may be held accountable if he or she impacts a motorcycle while changing lanes or overtaking another vehicle. One state is legal. Why only in California where it's legal? California's the only state that allows lane splitting. It was the first state to legalize lane splitting. Take a look at this map. See? Take a look at this map. Modified, meaning the gray ones are illegal. Not mentioned or not specifically prohibited. Currently considering a solution in lane splitting. Modified versions have been legalized. Texas is not mentioned. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, North Carolina, Kentucky, West Virginia, Delaware, Ohio, Montana, Utah, modified versions, killing considered legislation in Washington and Oregon, but only one state. Let me zoom in here and y'all can see. One state, that's California. California is the only state that makes it legal to lane split. Now, you California folks out there, you better be watching this. No lane splitting. It's a safety issue. We need to make lane splitting re-illegalized in California. It's a safety concern. I don't want to go driving. That's why I don't like driving, because I'm afraid about lane splitting. Why I don't drive? One, because I'm going to be in an accident. And second, lane splitting. Lane splitting. Third, I don't like drinking and driving. And four, drugs. That's why I don't like to drive, and I don't want to drive, period. Pick a lane. If you want to do lane splitting, go do it in California. Don't do it in Texas. I'm actually, you need to call your local college and re-illegalize lane splitting in California. Motorcycles zip by other various drivers, various spots across the country by riding in lanes and gap traffic. However, lane splitting is often known as sharing or unlawful according to the state Texas Transportation Code, or TTC. All drivers of motorcycles are required to drive in a single lane under Section 545.060 of the Texas Transportation Code. Motorcyclists may change lanes but not drive between them on roads separated into two or more equivalent lanes. A fine of $175 is a penalty if you're caught breaking road safety laws in Texas. Citations for speeding, reckless driving, improper lane changes, and tailgating are possible penalties for motorcyclists to break the law. Is it safe? It's not safe. For crying out loud here. We have to learn to take responsibility for our actions, so therefore, we gotta learn. We have to take responsibility for our actions. When we were kids and we did something wrong, we have to learn by part of growing up to take responsibility for our actions. Because we're the ones that did it. We don't blame everybody. So if these lane splitters, you need to learn to take responsibility for your own actions. And all these videos on YouTube explain. We just saw one from Inside Edition. It's illegal. It's illegal in all 50 states. Except California. California is the only state which legalizes lane splitting. Every video talks about this. There are all these videos on YouTube all about lane splitting. So what's the common sense here? No lane splitting. It is illegal. You want a lane split? Go do it in California. They ban guns, and they don't ban lane splitting. Texas, they allow you to carry weapons for self-defense. They allow you, and you're not allowed to lane split. All right. Now the main issue, theft. All right. Can you just imagine you're going to the store and you see someone holding a gun towards somebody's head and someone's telling you to give me my money? Think about that scenario. Basically, we did 2 videos all about shopping carts. And part of that, one of those things is theft. The difference between theft and stealing goes as it is. Stealing focuses on the intent to steal, while theft deals with the actual taking of property. Stealing deals only in commercial establishments, while theft deals with the general appropriation of someone else's property. With shopping carts, if you steal a shopping cart, that's theft. And throughout the 2 years, I brought back a lot of shopping carts, and no one has paid me. I've gotten a lot of thank yous for bringing them back. But it just seems to me like nobody cares about shopping carts. Shopping carts but me. Because I'm the only person here that cares about these when nobody else. I mean, look, I'm the one that cleans up the community here in Flower Bluff when nobody else gives a shit. I mean, I'm the one that uses all these issues in the show when nobody else gives a shit. Speeding, no one cares. Weber has concerns about it. But when you are dealing with people stealing your stuff, well, as a matter of fact, hang on a second. Let me show you a promo from Judge Joe Brown. Remember this one. Listen.
Case. A guy broke into a woman's house and stole some valuables. I sent him to jail. And I had this case. A guy broke into a woman's house and stole some valuables. I sent him to jail. But that wasn't enough. He wouldn't have learned anything. So I told him, I'm going to let the victim go by your place and take some of your stuff. He looked at me and said, Judge, why? And I said to him, now, you'll know how it feels.
That's what needs to happen. I mean, the criminal system doesn't do anything. Push back and forth whenever you see the time. That's what the penal system does. It turns small-time offenders into hardened criminals. It's like taking a sweet, innocent young girl and turning her into a criminal. That's what it does. That's what this system does to you. Small-time offenders into hardened criminals when you be sent to jail. When you go to jail, expect you to learn your lesson. But what there needs to be what judges need to do is just teach them a lesson and see how they feel. It's like this. I mean, you steal some stuff, well, the victims will go by your place and steal some of your stuff. Why? Because you'll know how it feels. For crying out loud here, it's like this. It's like if you steal something, you're stealing money. Everything you buy, whether it's a computer, a TV, a laptop, everything you buy costs money. You have to pay with money. And when people don't pay with money, they end up stealing. That's why all these kids out there not going to school. They're out burglarizing homes, dealing with drugs, things of that nature. That's what all these kids are doing. just outside of school, breaking into houses, using drugs. They're doing whatever they can to get underneath their parents' skin. Because nothing's being done enough. I mean, that's what raises juvenile delinquency. It starts with kids cutting class, and then it grows to things like shoplifting, assault, stealing, possession of drugs, bigger and bigger. And you may think this is all being made up. This is not being made up. We have to learn to take responsibility for our actions instead of people like our parents and our friends covering up for us or defending us. In Kearns County, there was one parent who was on the news. He said he's at school, he doesn't lie to his parents, he doesn't get in trouble. He's not one of these hoodlums out there that are out smoking dope. Doesn't matter. You need to not defend your kids. If your kids are not in school, you need to find out where they're at. Because if you don't, you could be held. You could be in trouble with the law. And if you're thinking of making this up, this is not being made up. Do your homework. Do your research. Because with truancy, a lot of kids look up, do some research, talk to their friends, or do whatever. But with that, it's just basically these kids are just looking up things from different states. Like when you live in Texas, research the law, or you just talk to your friends. It's not that simple. You're in Texas. You follow Texas law. Texas law. You live in the state of Texas. You follow Texas law. The worst scenario is you can find a pizza topping strip club. The worst scenario they're doing is lane splitting. Taking accountability for your actions is to go to our pizza topping strip club. You'll see like mozzarella. And then when you're being stinked out by anchovies, you'll be like, here's stinky anchovy. Come on out, stink everybody up. I didn't make this up. I didn't make this up. Just watch a short clip.
Anchovy.
Here's little old stinky anchovy. Come on out there and wipe them out.
Anchovy at a strip club. Here's the old stinky anchovy. Get in there and wipe them out. It smells like fish. I mean, just imagine you're lane splitting, and then you smell a stinky anchovy while you're lane splitting. Vroom vroom. Ew, no, I'm gonna puke. I love anchovies on my pizza. Anchovies are good. But don't eat too much anchovies, otherwise you can get the gout. But going back, we're going way off topic here. So basically, common sense should tell you. I just love that alarm. Hold on. Basically, common sense should tell you this. Stealing is wrong. When you borrow something, you're returning it. Hence the term borrowing. Hence another word for borrow. Borrow, borrowing. Or how about when you combine borrowing to the borrowers? That's right, I went there. The borrowers. If you don't know the borrowers is an old book that had led to an old TV show back in 1992. And that show taught us a great lesson. From 1992 on, it became the return of the borrowers. If you want to see this playlist, we'll have an annotation above. From the channel, let me show you a quick portion. Let me play a quick portion. And that's The Borrowers. It just became a series, and also was on VHS. But it taught us a great lesson about borrowing. The difference between borrowing and stealing is just taking things without asking. Borrowing is asking and then giving it back. So if I were to say, can I borrow your newspaper? I'll be sure to give it back to you. That's borrowing. Hence the term borrowing, or the borrowers. Then from 1991, the borrower, then from 1992, 5 years later, The Borrowers became a hit movie with John Goodman. 2011, it became a TV British show. Before all the movies, it became a great book. After the book, it becomes a movie, and then going back to 2011, there was another Borrowers movie. So you have, and then when it came out on VHS, you had The Borrowers and the Return of the Borrowers, $14.98 or less. Both of these were $14.98 each. It's part of Turner Home Entertainment, so you'll probably get a picture here. Alright, we're going way off topic here, so now I just went off topic here, so now you get the difference between stealing and borrowing, and stealing and theft. We're going to take a break. I'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. Could you be one of the witnesses that you saw about what happened during that time? If you were one of the witnesses, in this case what happened years ago, then you may remember what happened. It left a jury facing the decision of one man who would spend decades behind bars. A woman was killed. And again, it left a jury to decide this. What really happened that day? Here's Lynn Canning with a Dateline Court TV exclusive.
35 seconds away from the next decoding.
It was a time for celebration in the heart of Manhattan, May 22nd, 1994.
The Knicks have defeated the Bulls 87-77.
A celebration that had led to a tragedy just across the bridge in Brooklyn, when a young mother died, killed after a jubilant fan fired a gun to celebrate the Knicks' playoff victory.
Before it was over, this low-profile trial would raise important questions about the criminal justice system, about the willingness of prosecutors to cut a deal to win their case, about the unwillingness of witnesses in the inner city to get involved with the system at all, no matter what the cost to justice.
In this case, the defendant was 23-year-old Dexter Costello. Even though he had no prior criminal history of any kind, he would be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Murder in the second degree.
I think what he did was appalling. A woman is dead because some dope decided to celebrate a Knicks basketball victory.
Brooklyn District Attorney Charles Hines had little sympathy for the accused, citing a depraved indifference to human life as the basis for a murder charge.
You see, one of the problems with the case is that a number of the witnesses described it as an accident. It was quite different than an accident.
The prosecution's theory of what took place on that fateful Sunday afternoon is of a group of 8 or 9 men walking along this Brooklyn sidewalk just after the Knicks' playoff victory, when one of them, the defendant, Dexter Costello, points a 9mm handgun in the air and starts firing in celebration. Prosecutors say at that moment, Tessa Warren leans out of her 3rd-story apartment window after hearing gunfire, when one of those seemingly random shots fired by the defendant ricochets just outside her window, striking her in the chest and killing her.
The people call Ian Azor.
So what really happened? The prosecution needed to rely on the one man out of a crowded city street who could actually place the gun in the hands of the defendant.
Could you hear the general area where the shots were coming from?
Yeah, from right outside of my window.
That eyewitness was the victim's brother-in-law, Ian Azor, who testified that he too was at home in the same apartment building as Tessa Warren's, directly 2 stories above her.
When I got to the window, I saw a set of guys. They were kicking away the shells.
Did you recognize any of those people?
Yes, I did.
Ian testified that he recognized 2 of his acquaintances, the defendant, Dexter Costello, and another man, Pete Stevens, and saw them handling a gun. It's what he saw Dexter do with that gun that would become the cornerstone of the prosecution's case.
He took the gun from Pete.
Who took the gun?
The defendant. And as he turned down his head like this.
Indicating putting his head down with his chin towards his chest.
Yes, and threw his hands in the air.
Indicating holding his right hand fully extended in the air.
Right. I immediately threw myself back inside. And I heard pop, pop, pop.
Ian says the last thing he saw before ducking back into his apartment was Dexter Costello right underneath his and Tessa's window, pointing the gun in the air. And the first thing he saw, he says within seconds after the shot stopped, was Dexter still holding the weapon.
I called up to him. He said, "Hey, what happened?" I said, "Yo, what the F, excuse my French, you're doing? You're shooting and you're not looking where you're shooting?" His words to me was, "Oh, sorry man, I didn't know you was here."
Ian says minutes later there was a banging at his door. He rushed from his living room window to answer the call of frantic knocks. He says it was his niece and nephew. The children led Ian 2 floors down to where he would find a dying Tessa Warren lying near her window.
I ran to her and I picked her up. I said, T, talk to me, tell me something. And she just, and that was it.
What did you do after that happened?
I said to my mother-in-law, I know who did it.
Ian testified he raced down the steps and out of the apartment building. Determined to confront Dexter, he ran across the street to a bakery where he had last seen him from his window. It was there, he says, that Dexter admitted he had fired the gun.
I said, "Dexter, come. You just killed Tessa." He said, "No, man, I shoot up in the air." I said, "Dexter, Tessa went to the window and knocked Tessa." He said, "Oh, God."
When we talked with Ian Azor months after Dexter Costello's trial, he recounted those moments immediately after the shooting.
I told him, I said, "Dexter, I gotta give you up. The shot, the shot. It was like, I can't believe that Dexter really did it."
Are you absolutely convinced that Dexter is the one that fired the shot that killed Tessa?
No one else could have done it. No one else.
Azor's testimony against Costello seemed damaging enough, but the prosecution backed up his testimony with physical evidence.
I observed ballistics evidence with discharged shells.
Police never recovered the firearm allegedly used by Dexter Costello that day, but they did recover an empty clip and 12 discharged shells on the sidewalk underneath Tessa Warren's window. Also, a ballistics expert and the medical examiner's testimony concurred with the prosecution's theory. The bullet that killed Tessa Warren was fired from the sidewalk where Dexter Costello was seen standing.
The shell casings are 9mm, and the bullet
removed at the morgue. Here's your 9mm.
So far, all of the evidence appeared to be pointing directly at Dexter Costello. But as strong as the DA's case against Costello seemed, had they proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt? Remember, no gun was ever found, no fingerprints. And why had only one person out of a crowded city street been able to identify Costello as the shooter? It turns out the jury still had a lot to learn about the astonishing background of the prosecution's star witness and about who else might have been firing the gun that afternoon.
All right. When we come back, we're gonna hear more from the trial and more from the defendant. In other words, we're gonna hear the other side of the story. We'll see if Dexter Costello really was the person who fired that gun. Then later on, the jury decides guilty or not guilty. Please stay with us. Before we move on to part 2 of that story, it's time for a viral break right now. If you never heard of Angry Dad, he was the viral YouTuber in Australia, to where his sons pulled pranks on him. I'm going to show you a few examples, a couple of examples here. This one is the Steggy's barbecue chicken prank. Tonight's viral break is Angry Dad, with 1.3 million views. Take a look.
I was with Dad in Woolworths the other day, and he bought this Steakles family roast and this Steakles barbecue chicken. What you have to do to cook it is you have to stick the can up the chook's ass. So he's loving that. So, you know what, we thought of an idea.
If you guys want to fuck with Joel Man on that Australia Day, we'll show you how it's done.
Get ready for this, bro. Angry Dad. You do not. So what do you have to do? Baking. Under all that. Straight up. No, you do not. What are you doing, Tessa? Masterpiece he's been working on. So he's just shoved the can up the chook's ass. So me and Dylan are going to replace the can. He's going to get a fucking rude shock when he goes to serve dinner. So Dad's going to cook his shit fucking dinner. This looks unbelievable. Dylan! Mitchell! What the fuck have you done? You dickhead! What? Who put a can of Sprite on us? You are a dead moron. Now you fucked dinner. Can of what? What? A can of fucking Sprite on the chook's ass. You are a fucking pest. Now I'm gonna fucking get Ellen, you dickhead. You are, you fucking pest. Now you can go fucking hungry. Get out of here, fucking. You go get it then. Where the fuck are you going? It's dinner time. Fucking dickhead, you wanna fucking. Piss off! Fuck off, Dylan, you're fucking up! This is bloody beautiful! Bingo, turn the fucking camera off! Are you gonna let us... Oh! Are you gonna let us see? Did you get me a drink? No. Oh, my fucking hell!
We got time for another one? We got time for two more. Let's see here. We got time for another one. One of my favorites was the Fot spray. Or one of my favorites was the sneezing on 80. The second one was the fart spray.
Car park at the front because it's a fucking nice standing zone and I'll get fucking walked on and I'll push into a fucking park and I'll throw them. We're 2 minutes into the fucking trip and you shit yourself. Oh my god. That is like horse shit. Oh my fucking god. It's embarrassing. You save all your fucking shit for my car.
Oh my god, I'm actually gonna vomit.
It's like a horse dog. Now I feel fucking sick.
Oh my god.
That is like a horse fucking stable. One more. And I'm gonna fucking pull that fucking nose ring that hard it'll pull your fucking head off. I'm not driving an hour with this shit in your fucking car. I'm gonna throw up. You're like a fucking baby. Actually, no, a baby smells fucking better. Yes, I can! Not me, Dad. I don't give a fucking rat's ass. I'm not driving for a fucking hour with this fucking smell in the car. Fuck. Ah, Mitchell, can you stop carrying on like a fucking 2-volt watch? You look like you're going to be fucking sick. If you vomit in this car, I'll tell you now. I'm fucking telling you right now. You're buying it, and then you fucking give me the money. Mitchell, stop being a dickhead. You fucking vomit in my car. I'm feeling white, okay? Right, well, you're getting down up here getting the coffee and fucking off. Because I'm not putting up this shit. I'm just not. I'll cancel the meeting. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going anyway. Get fucked. Me?
Oh my god.
It's like I'm wearing shit. Mitchell, for God's sake! Oh, Mitchell, for God's sake! Fucking hell! It's just the worst fucking smell, and it's fucking 9 o'clock in the morning.
My eyes are actually watering. It's so bad.
Tell what, you fucking water and I punch you in the fucking nose. Mitchell, I'm telling you, I'm fucking nuts.
You happy with it?
Shut up.
I remember, okay, speaking of fart spray, do you remember when, do you remember remember the Turners? That channel we showed you? One of the videos that we showed you from the Turners was to where they had Fat Mike running with a fishing pole. I'm going to show you very similar, going back to the fart spray. It's from Detroit, Michigan. The Turners, they got Junior, Uncle Ernest, and Ulysses. Anyway.
Give me Arizona, baby. There's a fart plane challenge on my day. God damn, it's stinking in. I don't see a goddamn thing funny. Why would you sit your funky ass up in there and shit like that? Don't nobody feel like smelling your fucking ass, man. Got my whole fucking car smelling like a hog's ass. Why do you ain't get the fuck out of and splatter your ass all over the place like that? God.
Here's another one from one of my favorites. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Fat Mike.
Hell no, man. Quit fucking staring me like that, man. Hell no, you can't get that on my goddamn snout. Well, where's your fucking shirt at? Oh, Blaze, honey, boy, eat ass boy. I can't find it. Don't take your ass to my kitchen until you get your nothing. Man, I know what the fuck I got in that figure there. Goddamn it. Damn, it's stinking here, man.
Damn, look how fat he is.
You bet not touch my goddamn salad. You cheese sticks, mother-ass boy. Get the fuck you was gonna get the goddamn it. You need some shit all over my goddamn salad. Get your ass away from my goddamn kitchen, you Blaze honey bun fucking ass boy. Julie, get your goddamn company, man. You're not fucking with my goddamn sandwich, breathing and putting the stitches all over my shit. Didn't I tell your ass not to fuck around there with my stitches? Man, stop talking to me, man. Goddamn, I told your ass not to go to this goddamn kitchen fucking with my shit.
It's kind of funny. Hey, but the other one, take a look at this one.
Come here. Look at this shit here. You locked the goddamn keys in the car? I thought I had them in my pocket. Yeah, damn. Junior? We can get it open, baby. How? God damn. God damn. Do you ever use that motherfucking bookshelf you got sitting on your goddamn shoulders? How the fuck you lock the damn keys in the car? Speak to representative. Get off of my shit. DED 9769. Yes. That's a Buick. Can you please connect me to somebody who can speak some proper fucking English? Because I can't understand a goddamn thing you saying to me, woman. Yeah, get off my shit. I mean that. When they come unlock my shit, don't ask for the keys to this motherfucker no more. And I mean that. Because you ain't...
Wow. Alright, here's probably another one. You got Gene Jr., Fat Mike, and Uncle Ernest. That's the Turners. And I think... Here's one of my favorites from 5 years ago. The very first video.
You burrow that motherfucker nose is just as long as a goddamn pickle. That motherfucker sitting there looking at you. And them goddamn corn pop ass teeth in here sitting up there talking to you with them goddamn things in his mouth like that. Shit ain't looking like that in his goddamn mouth. And they don't want to give orders and shit. That's some bitch ass bossing them goddamn. You ain't gonna boss me around, motherfucker. Looking fucking feet. Sitting up there talking to you with that shit in his goddamn mouth, man. Pop. Yeah, they don't want to do this. Pop. Yeah. Hey, son, what's going on? Feel my DMGs? Oh, yeah, those couple lamb chops? Yeah. Oh, yeah, those are good, son. I'll get you some more, okay? You ate my food, man. Yeah, I told you I'd get you more, son. You ate my food? I said I will replace the food. When you gonna give me some more? You always say you gonna replace something, you ain't never gonna replace nothing, man. You ain't gonna give me no food, man. You ain't gonna replace nothing, man. You always... Motherfucker, who the fuck you think you talking to, nigga? Huh? Who the fuck you talking to like that? You ate my food. Close your mouth, motherfucker. Close your motherfucking mouth. And that's my food, man. I said I was gonna replace your funky ass lamb chop nobody for you. Close your motherfucking mouth. And that's my food for you. Go after that little bitch over there. Cheap ass goddamn lamb chop. So you ain't talking to me like that? That's my food. Say something else. Yeah? Man, I'm not like that. Say something. I dare you, nigga. Say something. I said I'd get you a new motherfucking pack of a punk ass lamb chops you sitting there crying to me about, goddammit. It was 2 punk ass lamb chops left. You crying like I ate all your shit, motherfucker. It was 2. That's all I ate was 2. Now I'd be an asshole to go buy buy 2 lamb chops and bring them right to your ass. Now what? Get the fuck out of my face, man. Talk to your mama like that, motherfucker. You don't talk to me like this motherfucker didn't blow my goddamn door.
There's some common sense for that. Alright. One more and then we're done. One more and we're going to preview our next episode. And if you remember, you might remember Fat Mike, but if you didn't, let me. Okay, here's one more. Then we're going to preview our episode.
What the hell are you doing out here? What do you mean you at work? This ain't no goddamn job. What did that sign say? Get in this goddamn car. Oh shit. Get your ass in this car. It's unlocked. What are you doing up here? You a goddamn fool up here jipping these people out of their goddamn money. This ain't no goddamn job, Junior. What the? I can't believe you. Look at it. You trying to give me money all the day. Homeless, please help me. My daddy kicked me out. Mother, when the hell I kick you out? And you out here taking these for a job. It ain't no motherfucking job. I got hundreds. Oh shit. Look, I got some more of them. Look.
Wow. The full video is on Instagram. Well, we're now out of time, but we're going to continue the story of about the trial on Game Break Saturday. Now you'll hear Dexter's side of the story about you'll hear Dexter's version about when he was part of this. Did he shoot? And what will the jury say? Here's a preview.
I never had no gun in my hand.
So you admit to being at the location where the shooting happened?
Yes, sir.
But you deny shooting a gun?
Yes, sir.
Don't miss more about this because you barely scratched the surface of this story. We're also going to tell you a story about a politician who sued the news station because of defamatory evidence. That's on Saturday. That's Game Break this Friday going to Saturday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Saturday night. And for all of us here at Give Me a Break and YouTube, have a good night.